On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mulligan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m.
This morning, police zeroing in on the movements of two of the University of Idaho victims, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, the night they were murdered, looking specifically at the hours between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when the couple was believed to be at Ethan's fraternity.
Why are you looking for more information specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house?
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning.
Although there could be many reasons for this statement may be one of the key reasons the world was stunned when the PCA was released, revealing details about what happened in the 1122 King Road residence in the early morning hours of November 13th.
Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning.
Here's an excerpt from the probable cause affidavit itself. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Gonsalves say something to the effect of, "There's someone here."
On the morning of November 13th, at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the second floor and 2 on the third floor. The Latah County coroners conducted autopsies, and detectives have been provided with the results of those autopsies. We know that the autopsies confirmed the identity of the 4 victims, determined the cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing, and determined that it was likely all 4 victims were asleep during the attack. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times.
There have always been legitimate questions regarding the autopsies and the reports of the county coroner, Kathy Mambut, including the statement that Chief Fry just made, which is clearly inconsistent with itself, saying that the autopsies revealed that the victims were likely asleep. Immediately followed by the statement that some of the victims had defensive wounds.
Meantime, Gonsalves also told me the county coroner called and told her 17-year-old daughter graphic details from the autopsy over the phone.
She asked, "Are you sure you want to know this?" And my daughter, thinking that she did for whatever reason, said yes, and she proceeded to tell her.
And you haven't spoken to the coroner?
No.
The family says they met with authorities Monday to express their grievances. A Moscow police spokesperson declined to comment on allegations relating to communications with the family. NBC News reached out separately to the coroner but received no comment. This morning, 8 days into the search for the white Hyundai Elantra, Gonsalves says it's becoming harder to remain optimistic.
Are you confident the police are going to solve this crime?
I have to be.
The Gonzalez family also says they're speaking out on behalf of Maddie's family as well. They say that family is too grief-stricken to talk. They say that Maddie was their only daughter and that Maddie and Kaylee were the best of friends. Craig.
I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject.
So we do know, of course, that person that the investigator is referring to is Jack Decor, the person that both Kaylee and Maddie were texting and calling right up until the time that this horrible event occurred. Now, what's interesting here is how the treatment of the explanation of Jack Decor being a suspect or not is treated much differently than whether or not the surviving roommates were a suspect, or the hoodie guy, or even the person who provided the ride from the grub truck back to the residence. Now, I'm in no way saying that there should be shade cast on Jack Decor, not at all. It's just interesting to me that investigators have said that since that Monday after the tragedy occurred, when they first talked to Jack Decor, that is when they were able to clear him. Yet they did not take the opportunity to clear him in the eyes of the public here.
Hi, Emma Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
From the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you verify it was another individual who made the call?
Actually, if we could just go to this one first. And
Well, it's phone. That's why I wanted to.
so what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call, or phone, excuse me. And we're not going to divulge who made that call. It's part of our investigation still, and when we get ready to release that, we will.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911, that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer. And you said
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not confirming a roommate called 911, but you used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
How many? And whoever made the call.
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
Do you guys have any idea if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us. I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount, and that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
If you look in Washington at all, I guess, for...
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take 2 more questions.
Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
You don't know how this happened without the other 2 roommates hearing it or waking up?
We do not. One more question.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the 2nd and 3rd floor, and that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out, and I can assure you we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
Let me show you the
This person will strike again.
In terms of technology, do you think that
This channel looks forward to seeing that complete justice is served for the Idaho 4 and their families. May the Idaho 4, Madison, Kelly, Ethan, and Xana rest in peace.